Hey, I'm here. I have no idea if this is working. Um, can people hear me? I'm seeing the mic bounce, so hopefully that means I've got audio. Hello, welcome to what hopefully will be the first of many streams of Something's Puzzling Gus. My lovely wife could not be here tonight. She is working. She is holding down the fort. She's not holding down the fart. She's holding down the fort at Red Castle Games, doing some good work, helping people find games, and just being an all around good person over there. I miss her. Wish she could be here, but this should be fun. Uh, should be. We'll see how it's gonna go. And yeah, I'm hoping everybody's having a good week. The week has been okay here. Um, Although I guess yesterday wasn't the most fantastic day. I had my first ever root canal. That was not a fantastic experience, but thank God we live in an era of amazing dentistry because while it was an hour of not great times in the dentist chair, didn't really hurt there or after. So now I'm all buttoned up and ready to be here. So happy Thursday, folks. I'm much more used to Jess being here and kind of bantering off of her. But yeah, I kind of had this thought about doing these solo streams, like when Jess was looking to kind of increase content back when she was doing several days a week. And kind of like, I don't know if this is me or not. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But hopefully it's fun for me and y'all. I kind of just was thinking like, oh man, is there some puzzly type games to play, or do the games that we have like a kind of puzzly solo versions or anything like that we could explore? So as I was looking around through what we've got, I found on Board Game Geek that they have this solo challenge going for role player. So here. So we're gonna do a solo game of role player, and this solo challenge they do it monthly on BGG, and I guess actually you can get entered into this drawing. And is it the designer? Yeah. So the designer Keith Mateha, however you say his last name. Sorry, Keith. Offers up some loot that can be won in this drawing. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you like role player, if you like dice manipulation, which is something that I am a huge fan of, I love rolling dice. I love getting to manipulate them and try to get that's the puzzle that I think we're going with today, is how to get them into the state that they need to be in order to maximize our hero that we're going to be designing here. And then can go on to BGG and enter my score and get entered into a drawing. So they do this every month. There's a new challenge. So normally in the solo mode, and we're gonna take a look at the table here in just a second. Normally in the solo mode, it's pretty randomized as to how the thing goes out there. But in this one, they specify like everybody starts with particular starting characteristics, and then see how your game goes. So awesome. Hi, Panda. I am so glad that you were here. I am glad that you can hear me. So that's fantastic. I got Jess and I hunted down this new like backdrop for me. It's kind of like a cozy library. So that's where I'm going to be doing my puzzles, sitting at a table. Uh, but yeah, Panda, I hope you are doing really well. I hope you have recovered well from Gen Con. Jess has been feeling great so far. She's rested up and obviously she's at work. And so far, feeling good, nothing going on. She was very careful, so that was great. And yeah, hope that you are also doing well. Um, Hopefully, we will be talking about. Oh, let's see. Do you have a take? No, you just enter your stats. So there's a couple of key pieces of information that they ask for you to do. Let me flip over to it, see if I can read what they want. They want to know your BGG name. Your BGG name. Let me make sure I'm talking towards the mic and the camera. Um, what your total reputation score was at the end. What your total gold was at the end. Um, Number of dice of your color that we'll talk about. So there's a couple of pieces of information that they just ask you to put out there. So totally honor system. I mean, it's not like crazy big prizes. You're not going to win a copy of the game or anything like that. But yeah, they've got like some promos, or I think there actually is even a puzzle on the list of things that you could win. And yeah, you just enter those things into this forum post on BGG's role player page and get entered into a drawing. So we're going to do that. And if it's fun, maybe I'm going to do it more than just this month. We'll see. So yeah, I'm here. We're going to keep this DJ plays. Now it's going to be something's Puzzling Gus whenever Jess can't be here. I know she will be out again towards the end of the month because she's going to be going to PAX West with the wonderful Panda Angel and lots of other awesome folks for Rose Gauntlet Foundation stuff. They're going to be doing the Game Changers dinner, I think it is, which is supporting women and women identifying people in the gaming world of all sorts, publishers, designers, maybe content creator, like whatever it is that your facet is in the gaming world, and just putting together this space where people can get to know each other, find like-minded folks, feel supported, and just really have a fun and safe place to be. So Jess will be helping with that. So there's going to be another Thursday, probably in a few weeks, where I will be back alone and we will figure out another puzzle. Maybe I'll look through all the crazy games that Jess brought home from Gen Con and see if there's anything in there that'll fit the bill. But if anybody's got any thoughts, you can let me or Jess know. But anyways, we're going to do some Role Player. Role Player is a wonderful dice manipulation game where you are designing your character to go into a like a D&D campaign. So you're putting together your class and your backstory and all of your stats. This is the piece of role playing that I liked the most. Once my character was created and my backstory was set, I stopped liking RPGs. I just wanted to do this part. So the fact that there's a game where I get to do this part is pretty cool. So let's switch down to the table. Here we go. I'm switching cam. Everything that happens here is the first time. So now I'm gonna switch cams for the first time. And we have our table. And it worked. At least I can see it. So hopefully it's there for everybody else. Yeah, I did it. Panda Angel, you're the best cheerleader. I love it. Can't wait to hang out at PAX Unplugged. Been too long, friend. Oh, and thank you very much for the delicious cookies. I enjoyed them greatly. So, in Role Player, we have a character that we're going to be building out. Like I said, in this solo mode, in the challenge that's specified on BGG, you would have preset conditions, preset traits, preset backstories, all of the things that normally would be randomized. So for this particular challenge, I am a dragonkin monk. In my backstory, I have faced lots of persecution. Let's see what it says here. I still have no memory of anything prior to waking up in the ditch 5 years ago, bloodied and beaten with the word traitor magically burned into my chest. It's time to look for answers. So my backstory doesn't go back very far because I don't remember it. But I'm also enlightened as a monk. So that's pretty cool. And I'm a renegade. So all of the pictures of who I am becoming have been put out here. And as we play, we're going to be filling out this grid with dice. There are several different colors of dice. Regular D6s. And we're going to want to get them into this grid in some cases with particular colors in particular places, and in some cases with particular sums going across the rows, because that's how we score points. If we can achieve the right level of characteristics totals and the right dice placement in certain columns and rows. And in addition to scoring points that way, we will score points for our alignment. As a renegade, apparently I want to be chaotic good. So I'm cool with that. So I'm going to try to get my alignment up here into the top right corner, and there's ways that that will take place. I lose points if I head towards evil and if I head towards lawful. So I'm a renegade. I don't like laws, but apparently I'm a good renegade. So I'm cool with this. And then there's going to be some markets where we're going to be able to go pick up some armor, some skills, some different traits and stuff like that that'll help fill us out. To kick us off, so here, I'll hold up the card so you can see all the ways in which we're trying to score points. So as a monk, these are my stats that I am trying to achieve. So you can see I want to be a very strong monk. My strength needs to be at 18 plus. So the sum of the dice needs to be at least 18. It can go higher because there are some modifiers printed on the board here. And I think there's some other cards that also could potentially modify some of your row totals. So I got to get at least 18. So I got to go hard after strength. But what's great is as a dragonkin, I have a +2 modifier on there. So I'm already 2 towards that 18 plus. So that's good. However, my dexterity also needs to be pretty big, 16 to 17. And it's got to be one of those two numbers. So in the 18 plus, it's got to be 18 or higher. It could be any of those things. Hey, James! What's up, friend? It is just I. Jess is working away. She is doing her biz at the game store, and she taught me just enough of this to be in trouble. So I'm here, and we're going to try to have some fun playing some role player. So on my stats, I got to get 18 plus for strength. I'm trying to get either 16 or 17 for dexterity. However, my modifier, apparently dragons are not super dexterous. They're very strong. They get a +2 there, but they are not dexterous. So they don't turn on dimes. It's more of like big wide turns. So I got a -2 there. So this 16 or 17 actually needs to be at least an 18 or a 19 because I'm getting -2. So that's the total the dice need to be. I guess they'd have to be 18. So I've got to get an 18 here at least if I want to hit the dexterity one. My constitution also needs to be pretty high, 17 or 18. Those are the only two modifiers I have in strength and dexterity. The rest of them are neutral. Intelligence, I don't need to be super intelligent, just 14 plus. My wisdom, 15 to 16, and my charisma is 14 to 15. So I am not super good at trying to convince people to join my monastery ways, but hey, I guess maybe that's why I'm a monk, because I'm not super charismatic, so I go off by myself. Now, this card makes me the purple player. So every one of the different, I think this is my class, has a particular color. And so this one was purple. So I am the purple player. And then my backstory is persecuted in the various traits or stats, attributes is what they call them. You'll see certain colors in certain positions. I have to try to get those dice into those places in order to score points that way. We talked about my alignment to get 3 points. I got to be up here at chaotic good. To avoid any minus points, I need to avoid evil and lawful. So to start off in the solo mode, you play very similar to a 2-player. Oh, we got Starbuck here. Yeah, Jess got stung by a bee, and this is what happens. What's up, Matthew? How are you? Yes, I am flying solo tonight. Jess gave me the keys to the kingdom here, and we're gonna see how this goes. I'm just happy that y'all can see and hear me. So I'm giving myself 2 stars, but that's out of 10. Um, so to kick this off, just like in the 2-player mode, you draw 6 dice out of the bag. These are random, and we're going to roll these up, and then I have to place them into my characteristics to kind of start to seed the board. The rest of the slots, the other 12, are going to get filled in through 12 turns. So here we go. What do we get? So I'm looking at some 5s and 6s, which is great because I know that I need a big score. I need 18 in dexterity in order to avoid, to counteract this -2 and still get the 16 that I need total for that row. So that 6 may be a good thing to place there. The only thing in these placement. I can place in any of these rows, but I have to place in the farthest left of the 3 slots. And then I can place in the one next to it, and then I can place in the one next to it. I can't ever start immediately putting any of my dice out here in the second or third column until I've gotten the first one filled in. Now, there are 6 dice that I am filling in, and there are 6 traits, but I don't have to fill in one die on each right now. I could actually put 3 across all in one row if I wanted to. We'll talk about why that may or may not be a good idea, but I could put 4 of them with 1 and one of them with 2 or whatever. And as we place these, every time you place a die, that particular attribute is going to give you an ability to manipulate that or other dice. And so you want to save some slots if there are ones that are really, really helpful. So for example, if I place a die in strength, I get to flip a die to its opposite face. And so this blue 1 right here, I could potentially, next time I place something here in strength, flip it over to be a 6, because that's what's on the other side. So there are ways in which each of these are going to help you manipulate dice. Flipping them straight over. Dexterity allows you to swap 2 dice. Constitution allows you to increase 1 or decrease 1 pip value. Intelligence has you re-roll a die. That is a very, that's a crapshoot, right? So that may be one that I'm like, I'll fill in a couple there right now because I don't know how often I'm going to do that. But who knows? Maybe if I've got a 2, I could do a little bit of better by being able to pull it out and re-roll it. Wisdom here is one way in which I can adjust my alignment. So every time I put a die here, I can move my alignment cube 1 orthogonal space. And then charisma gives me a discount when I go into the market. So let's see. So I need a blue down in charisma. Charisma overall only needs to be 14 or 15. So it doesn't have to be very high. But that 1 can easily be flipped to be a 6. So I'm going to put the 1 here in dexterity with the plan, if this all comes to fruition, to use strength to flip it over to be a 6 later on. When we seed the board right now with these 6 dice, we don't get to actually do the abilities. It's only with the regular turns that we'll start here in just a second. But with this other blue, I am going to put it here down in charisma to try to get my charismatic stats up. So you and everybody else will like me. Come listen to what I have to say. So I've already got 5 going here. And that now puts a blue in where I needed a blue die. So I'm doing good that way. So let's do, I need a big score. Constitution also needs to be pretty big. Strength only has to be 16. So I'll put this 6 in Constitution. I'll put the 5 up in Strength. And I'm probably going to have to just chuck one of these. So we'll put the 2 in Intelligence. So I will leave 2 of every one of them open for me to use as I place dice there. Okay, so I've seeded my board with the first 6 dice. Now we're going to go into a regular round. And I had a player card here somewhere. Yep. I'll get another one. Panda, what was some of your favorite things from Gen Con? I'm really curious to hear what other folks were really digging. Jess had some fun. She shared some cool stories with me. Lots of cool photos. Super jealous about all the people she was getting to meet. Okay, so every round that we're going to play 12 rounds. We're going to roll the dice. So you pull out player count +1. But in a solo mode, you pull out, just like in a 2-player game, you pull out 3 dice. So reaching into the bag o' die, I pull out 3. So I got 2 purples and a red. Oh, and that's good news, because another way that you can score points is by how many dice of your player color you have in your character. So I didn't pull out any purples from the initial 6, but now I've got 2, so I can get at least one of those if I wanted to take that one, although they were the lowest rolls. With the 3 dice, you're going to put them onto the 3 initiative order cards in numerical order. If there's a tie in numbers, the person whose turn it is in the solo mode, that's always me, I get to choose in which initiative order those 2 would go. And there's a reason why you might put one in a particular place. So besides those, okay, so that's the first part. We will roll, start player, okay, and then we're going to choose dice. But before I do that, I am going to put the 3 cards out for the market, because part of what I choose from the initiative cards is going to affect some of these cards, because there is an enemy player. Let's see, Panda said, I mainly worked and had meetings, but a fun game of Fairy with max player count. I don't know what Fairy is. Let's see, Starbucks says, I didn't work, but I did present, which made me super nervous, and I'm still recovering from that, but I got to play Comic Hunters. A lot of people talking about that one, which was awesome, and that was one of my favorite memories. Sweet! Starbuck, what was your presentation about? Jess was bummed that she wasn't going to be able to see it, because she really, really wanted to be there, but I think there was scheduling that didn't work out. But yeah, what was it? And she also said that we hopefully will get to play games together at PAX U, because Jess is not working, so she's going to keep me company. All right, so here in the market, we have a mix of things, which is great. So we have a piece of armor. The armor is grouped, so these are kind of like collections that you're trying to get. The more of the same type that you get, the more points you'll score for that set. So this is leather boots. So this is the leather set of armor. And if you get just 1 piece, it's worth a point. If you get 2, 3 pieces, it's worth 5, etc. And then every armor type has 2 different classes that it wants to be picked up by. So what's pretty cool, and this might be something that I'll choose, is the leather wants to be picked up by the purple or black classes. I just happen to be the purple class. So if I was to start a collection of leather, I would get to add a bonus point to that set at the end of the game. So that's pretty cool. In addition to armor, we have a skill, which is intimidation. I don't know if that fits with my chaotic. It's kind of chaotic, right? But is it good? So with intimidate, in order to activate skills, you have to be able to move your alignment in a direction that matches the symbol shown on the card. So I guess it is a chaotic trait, because in order to do this, you have to be able to move your alignment to the right. If you do, before or after selecting one of the initiative cards, you get to re-roll any number of the dice in the dice pool and then reorder them. So if you don't like what's there, you can intimidate the heck out of that dice pool and cause them to re-roll. And then there is a trait. There's obnoxious. So skills, you move your alignment every time you use it. Obnoxious, you one-time move your alignment when you take it. So that's what's indicated up here in the top next to the cost. So with obnoxious, you gain 2 points for each attribute row with 3 of the same colored die. So that's tricky. Getting all 3 dice to be the exact same color. But if you take this, being obnoxious, is evil. I think we all feel that. So if I was to take this card, that would move my alignment down. That is the opposite direction that I want it to go by the end of the game. So Starbucks says, I'm going to upload a video of the presentation to YouTube. Oh, sweet. So we will get to see it. That's awesome. Oh, I missed something. What's James sleeving? With clear matte sleeves. All right, so now the reason that I was talking about wanting to see the market cards before I choose my die, there's a couple things that happen when you choose your die. One, if you take the number 2 initiative in a solo mode, you get a coin. Oh, I didn't give myself my 5 starter coins. So in solo mode, we start with 5 coins. So if I take the number 2 initiative, then I get to take an extra coin for going second, not taking the first initiative. But if I take the number 2, I have to roll the enemy die. With a 1, 2, or 3, let me get the book out so I make sure that I'm... With a 1, 2, or 3, the enemy is going to claim one of the cards. So on a 1, they're going to take the first card. A 2, they're going to take the second card. On a 3, they're going to take the third card. But if I rolled a 4, 5, or a 6, they take nothing. So 50-50 chance of them taking something. If I take the number 3 initiative, I get the highest value die, which is great because you're trying to get your stats up. However, it's guaranteed that the enemy is going to take something if you take number 3 initiative because you will roll the same die. If you get a 1 or a 2, they take the first card. A 3 or a 4, they take the second card. A 5 or a 6, they take the third card. If I take first initiative order, they don't take anything, right? Because they are not the first player. I get first choice, so they can't take anything from me. All right. Oh, and I got to see, there's always a discard pile in this game because there are times when you may be able to take things out of the discard pile. But in the solo mode, there's also a trash pile. And the trash pile is like, you can't touch that. It doesn't exist anymore. So I have to create the market, flip the top card to create a separate trash pile next to the discard pile. Okay, so I created the market. I got a discard pile with the stuff that I pulled out from earlier. Because I had to take 7 cards out to start a discard pile, and that's the trash pile. Okay. So in the cleanup phase, I think something gets trashed. Oh, whatever card they take gets moved to the trash pile. Okay, there we go. And then whatever's left over gets moved to discard because discards could be taken from. So cost is up in the upper right hand corner, 1, 3, or 5. Getting those boots seems pretty good. So I want to limit the chances of him. I want a purple die because that's my class. I want to limit the chances of him taking something from me. So I'm going to take the number 2 initiative, which gets me that coin, which is good too. Other ways that you get coins, because you got to have money in this game in order to be able to buy these things from the market. There are a few different ways. Number 1, you take from the initiative card that has the coin on it. Number 2, you place a die in the 3rd spot of any row. There's a gold border around it to remind you that when you place a die there, you get a coin. Number 3, if a gold die comes out here, you get 2 coins for taking that one and placing it into your attributes mix. And number 4, you can always, instead of buying a card, trash one of them and get 2 coins for it. So if either you don't like anything that's out there or you can't afford anything that's out there, you can trash a card and get 2 coins. So there's always ways to be able to keep your money supplies up. I don't know how Jess pays attention to the game and to chat. She is like super duper good at this. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm glad that y'all are talking. So, all right, so I got to place my purple 3. I do have a little bit of wiggle room with, I think intelligence, I'm kind of like, probably not going to happen. Charisma's only got to be a 14 or a 15. So if I put this 3 there, that puts me at 8. So I just need to make sure that I got a 6, and then I could score those points. Also, I don't know if people noticed, but there are stars listed on those attributes, and that indicates how many points those are worth. And so intelligence also is only worth 1 point. So that might be one that I'm just like, throw away. I don't care about being smart. All right, charisma it is. James, I don't know if you're talking about charisma as a skill that you don't have or intelligence, but I would say that both those things are probably not entirely true. And we definitely see your intelligence here. And we feel the charisma of you being a great friend. So, all right. So that puts me at 8. Putting a die here at charisma allows me to get a 1 coin discount for my purchase from the market. At the end of the round, these go away. So if I don't use this right now, I lose it. So I'm going to buy something anyway, so I'm not going to lose anything. I'm going to make sure to use it and get my discount. However, before I purchase anything, I have to roll the enemy die and see what he's going to do to me. Because I took number 2. Oh, wait. From taking the second initiative order, 4s, 5s, and 6s means he does nothing. So, yes. My leather boots are still there. So I am going to claim these leather boots with my 1 coin discount. I will pay 2 more coins for the total cost. And I have the start of my armor. There are no limits to the amount of armor that you can be wearing. You can just keep piling that stuff on. There are no limits to the skills and traits that you can have. However, there is a limit to your weapons. So there are some weapon cards that'll come out here. Only got 2 hands, and so that limits what weapons you can carry. So you can only have 2 hands worth of weapons. Now, I am an enlightened monk, which says after discarding a card from the market, I may take any attribute action. So I did not discard a card. That would be the one that gives me 2 coins. I instead took a card. I bought one. So these other 2 are going to go into the discard. But that's pretty cool that discarding becomes more valuable for me. So I can do some of these actions a little bit more often. Pay attention to the game and chat is extremely hard. I think you're doing it. Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate that. Cannot wait. Brilliant idea. Anyways. Trombone Dalek. What did you do this time, James? Yeah, James. What did you do this time? All right. These 2 dice will go back into the bag. We will do cleanup, which is basically done. Seed the new market. Leather gloves. Excellent. I want the leather gloves. But there is also reckless, which fits into my chaotic nature that I'm trying to gain, which I would gain 2 stars for each of my attribute scores that is 5 or less. Well, that's going to be my intelligence. Because I am just chucking all the crap there. But that costs a lot of money. That costs 6 coins. But I do have the ability to move that over. But courageous also moves my alignment up towards good. And that one says when scoring attribute goals, +2 or -2 value to any single attribute. So I would get an additional + or -2 to one of those attributes that could help me get to some of those totals that I'm trying to get to. So this is tricky because getting leather gloves keeps my leather set going. Love me the leather. And then being courageous gets me up towards the possibility of being real good, as well as giving me that bonus + or -2 at the end of the game. So we'll see if the market helps dictate what's going to happen. There we go. We're going to draw 3 new dice. So this time we have a black, a blue, and a purple. So the purple is a 2. Not great because I want purple, but I don't really know that I want 2s. And then I got a black and a blue. So now these are both 6s, which means I get to choose which goes on which initiative order. Looking at my alignment, or my backstory, where I'm trying to get particular color dice into particular spots. In the second column, which is kind of where I'm working most, I've got a purple I need up here and a white that I need here. I don't need black or blue. So my blue spot I've already filled in, and my black is the 3rd spot out here. So neither of those colors helps me in any way. So it just, 6 of 1 here. We'll put the black one. And then I don't know that I want a purple 2. I'm going to take a black 6 because that gets me a coin for going second in initiative order. But it also means I got to roll the enemy dice, and let's see if the enemy dice is going to make the choice for me between leather gloves and courageous. They rolled a 6. Again, with initiative order 2, 4s, 5s, and 6s mean they take nothing. Sorry, is this a beat your own high score type of solo game? Yeah, so role player normally is a very competitive game. It goes up to 4 players. You're, playing against each other to see who gets the best score. But in a solo mode, yes, there is a little track that's going to tell you, are you an NPC or are you a true hero? Or somewhere in between. I'm hoping that I'm at least somewhere in between. But that's what I'm trying to get to. However, what I'm doing tonight is on BGG, they have posted in the forums for Role Player a monthly solo challenge. And so they set what, oh man, now I'm blanking on, I'm not an RPGer, so I don't know all the terms right. What's the like group, the type of person that you are? I am either a human or a dwarf, or I am a dragonkin. So whatever, race, maybe race, did I get that right before anybody told me in chat? We have to be a dragonkin. Our alignment is renegade, which means we want to be very good and very chaotic. We are a monk, and our backstory has told us that we are persecuted. So everybody who participates in this challenge, thanks, James. I did get it. But thanks for being there for me, man. So in the solo challenge that's posted on BGG, they dictate what those are. Normally, you would get those randomly chosen for you to help create your character. But then everybody can compete and try to get high scores. So you share on BGG your score and a couple other elements of your end game. And then there's also a little bit of a drawing that the designer of the game is giving some stuff away. So you get an entry into the drawing if you participate. So every month, I think you can get up to 1 entry into that drawing. I don't know exactly when they do it, but there's a few different like role player things, or I think he was involved with some other games in the Thunderworks games world, Lockup, and yeah, some other stuff. So I believe folks are changing the name of the grouping from race to something else. I don't know that. I get it. I don't know what that right word. What kind of a being are you? I am a dragonkin being. But yeah, so this is dictated by that challenge. So if it's something that sounds fun, and if you have role player, then you can go participate too and see if you can beat me. All right. So the enemy did not take anything from the market. So I still have all of my options. I was almost kind of hoping that they would take one of the 2 because then it would make my choice easier. So they both cost exactly the same. Leather gloves would take me up to 3 points. Courageous, I feel like this is going to be helpful because I've got some low numbers here. And so being able to boost up something with a +2. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take courageous. Oh, I didn't place my die. First, I got to place my die. I am going to place it in strength because I need that to be at least a 16. Strength when I place a die here, the ability that comes with it is flipping a die over to its opposite side. And that can include the die that you just placed. So this 1, I had eyed since the beginning of getting that flipped to a 6. So now my dexterity is getting a little bit better. Because I also need 18 in my dexterity because I've got a -2 there. But now that I have courageous, and I will pay my 3 coins for it. Now that I have this courageous trait, I get to increase my alignment towards good because being courageous is good. And at the end of the game, I can add a plus or -2 value to any single attribute score. So that can help one of those ones that I might have fallen a little short in. So traits go here down at the bottom of your board. I am courageous. These will go into the discard. These will go into the bag. And we will go on to the next. All right, so the new market, we have weakness, which apparently is chaotic because it's wanting to move me towards that. Gain 2 stars if either your strength or constitution is 8 or less. Well, that's not happening, so I don't want weakness. Pickpocket, decrease the face value of 1 die on your character sheet by 1 to gain 2 gold. Okay, so if I need some money, I could do a little helping myself. Or cure wounds. That is a skill that allows me to bump up on the alignment. Increase the face value of 1 die of your class color, which is purple, on your character sheet by 1. So I would have to be able to move my alignment up 1 in order to do this skill. I'm already at the top, so that one's going to be a little tricky. None of these are really jumping out like towards me super great. So this might be the one where I ditch a couple of bucks, or I ditch a card to grab a couple gold and use my enlightened monkness. All right, we got Time Roller here. What's up, Time Roller? Hi, friends. I need to play some more Role Player Adventures. Oh, please tell me what you think of that, because I am itching to get into figure out what our next campaign game is going to be. We're really enjoying doing Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, Jess and I together. But I want to do one with dice. And so I was trying to look around, and Role Player Adventure popped up. And one of the cool things about this game is if you create a character that you really dig, apparently you can take that into Role Player Adventure and start taking them on adventures. So yeah, Time Roller, thanks for being here. And if you do have some thoughts about Role Player Adventures, or if anybody else has played Role Player Adventures, I would really like to know. All right, so we got a 2 that's going to go here in Initiative 1, and then we got 2 5s. Now, unfortunately, the red die, which is what I want here on Strength, is way over there, and I don't know that I want to put a 2 over there. And then I've got blue and green, which are not in any kind of position to help me, so we will just... And I'm still not pulling purple dice out here. I'm not going to get super great for my class color die. All right, I don't care about any of this. Man. I mean, weakness actually would be helpful. As much as I just said, like, don't take anything. Sell it all off. You know what? All right, here's what we're going to do. I am going to take this 5 so that I get a coin for going second in initiative order, because I don't care about any of these. We're going to roll the enemy dice. We're going to see what they get. I got a 1. So remember, when in the second player or the second initiative order, when you roll for them, if they roll a 1, they take the first card. A 2, they take the second. A 3, they take the third card. So they are going to take weakness. That's going to go into the trash pile, not into the discard. It cannot be grabbed. I am going to discard 1. That gets me 2 gold for discarding. Now, because I am enlightened, after discarding a card from the market, I may take any attribute action. So y'all remember how I said I was going to be like, forget intelligence? Well, I think I might. Okay. No, I lied. So I'm going to take the strength ability, which is flip a die over to its opposite face. And I am going to take this purple 3. It makes it a 4, which is good. Okay, yeah, I'm going to make it a 4. So boost it up 1. That puts me at 9. I need to get to at least a 14. So now I can put a 5 or a 6 here. Before I only was going to be able to put a 5 there to make it. So that gave me a little bit of breathing room. All right. So this is... Oh, I never placed this. Whoops. Well, here was my whole plan anyways. So finish off... No, I don't want to do charisma because that's going to be...
I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
We'll go Constitution. Constitution allows me to bump up a die 1 or down 1. I need to get Constitution up to at least a 17. So this die that I just placed, I am going to bump it up to a 6. And then that discard thing happened to allow that. So little out of order, but although Constitution needs to be white. Oh no! Don't want to do that. I'll put it in Wisdom. So it was a 5. Put it in Wisdom so I can move my alignment over. Okay. I'm playing. Y'all can't tell me. Oh, did I forget to grab a coin? Next time, roller, I will. I have no idea. Brilliant. All right, so let's see. What is it? It's supposed to be playable with role player characters, but it really doesn't work well. Okay. The stats you need in adventures is very different than the stats you need for scoring in role player. The pre-made characters work much better. Okay, well that's cool. Adventures is like an escape room. You're trying to figure out what goes where rather than tactical adventures like the Gloomhaven game. That's cool. So we're playing Jaws of the Lion, which is just a big dungeon fight, right? Like every time you play, there's a little bit of activity to do. You're moving around and you're trying to like maybe break some stuff, but it's really just getting tossed into a room with a bunch of enemies and fight. So having something that plays a little bit differently sounds cool. Yeah, I'm down for that. The other one that I had looked at was Too Many Bones, but it is another just fight game, and I didn't like the look of the way that the fighting was laid out. So I was like, and I'm not all that into the artwork. Like the role player adventure artwork looks cooler to me. So, yeah. Thanks for the info time roller. All right. What are we doing? We cleaned up our dice. We cleaned up the market. We are rolling. I got to remember, do my dice thing first. Ugh. All right. So we have 2 green ones and a 4. But that 4 is yellow. So that could get us some more money. This market deck starts with a stack of cards that have 1 dot on them. They're kind of like the starter cards. And then as you get through them, you get to the 2 dot cards. So there's some cool stuff coming. Oh, we got all weapons. All right. I don't have a weapon. I got 2 free hands. Let's get something. So we have a Blessed Mace. When any player discards a card from the market, gain 1 gold. So I would assume that means if the enemy player discards 1, then it counts. But also that's me, right? Because I'm any player. A Jewel Dagger. When scoring attribute goals, +1 value to all gold dice. Oh, that's interesting too. That's another way to keep boosting these up. And then an Ancient Spear. When selecting an initiative card with gold on it, gain an additional gold. Well, holy cow. Now, that sounds great, right? Because I've been doing 2 a lot because it gets me a gold and there's been, not a whole lot of difference between 2 and 3. So it could give me a lot of gold. However, my monk being enlightened, I'm incentivized to not take gold that way, but to chuck cards to get gold. So I don't know if I want the ancient sphere. Oh, and I see hydrate. That's a great idea. So tonight I am drinking a lovely Strata single hop IPA. From Hetty Alice Brewery. It is delicious. Thank you for the hydrate, James. All right. Well, I don't want green ones. I mean, I guess I could put a 1 in wisdom. It wouldn't help me move my alignment at all. I actually now need to get something to move my alignment so I can shift it back a little bit if I wanted to. Yellow dice there are no places in particular that yellow dice have to go. But a 4 is helpful. So let's take the 4 and let's put it in. Oh, but you know what? I could take a 1 and I could make that a 6 pretty easy. So it's not a bad thing to have a 1, actually. So I am going to take the green die and I will put it in dexterity, which allows me to swap 2 dice. Are there 2 that I would want to swap? Not really. So maybe I want to save that. And I want that to be red. This is the only one. These 2. Yeah, you know, we'll just chuck it into intelligence. Because that one doesn't matter what color it is. And we'll oh, I put the wrong die back there. That was the 4. We'll re-roll a die because that's what intelligence allows us to do. So I will actually re-roll that 1. Hey, it became a 6 all on its own. Maybe I'm not chucking intelligence, guys. Okay, so that's placed. I did the action. Now, because I took the 2, we are going to see what the enemy wants to do. They're doing nothing. They can't afford nothing. Did I take a coin? I don't think I did. I think I already had 6. So there we go. Yes, James. It is delicious. Northwest is known for some very, very good beers. All right, so I have choice of all of these. They all when selecting an initiative card with gold, take an extra gold. When scoring attribute goals, add +1 to all gold dice. Currently, I only have 1, so that's not super helpful. When any player discards a card from the market, gain a gold. So that's a lot of gold. Let's do the mace. That just sounds cool. I feel like I would be a pretty badass renegade monk if I'm carrying a mace. Okay, so I bought that. That cost me 2. These go away. And these dice go back in the bag. Start a new round. All right. Ooh, a mystic cloak. So the mystic gear wants to be for the green or blue classes. We also have chain leggings. They want to be for the red or white classes. And then we have a dedicated trait. Gain 2 stars if you have at least 1 weapon, 1 skill, and 2 traits and 1 armor. Okay, a weapon, a skill, two traits, and an armor. I have a weapon, an armor, and a trait. So I would need one more skill and one more trait. This would be a trait. So I'm close to that. That would move my alignment one to the left when I purchased it, but I still have a wisdom spot available, so I can move that back. So I'm not too worried about that. All right, let's see what dice we get this time. I need some purple dice, you. There's one. Be a good number. That is not a good number. So I want to see if I could force it and make them, but I really want that one because I want to put it into dexterity and see if I can't get that flipped to a higher value. All right, so I'm going to take the one. That gets me a coin. And then we'll see. Oh, the one needs to go. I want it to be here because that die needs to be purple. That also is my class color, which is great. And at some point, I am going to flip that over to be a 6. Do I want to swap any dice? This action here, this available like extra manipulation that you get to do, it's always optional. So I don't really see. You know what? I'm going to switch these two. I'm going in on intelligence, folks. I said I wasn't going to do it. But, I've got an easier shot at getting to intelligence than I do at wisdom because it only needs to be a 14. This needed to be a 15 or a 16. So I'm boosting that up. Let's see what yield enemy die is going to do. A 5, 4, 5, or 6 when the second initiative is done is nothing. They take nothing. So, hey, IntelliGame, always been curious about role player. Nice to see it live. All right, cool. Well, welcome in, first time chatter. Thanks for being here. My name is David. I am half of what you would normally see here on Thursday nights. My lovely wife Jess is working tonight, so I get to solo. So we're doing something's Puzzling Gus here instead of DJ Plays. But yeah, so we're doing solo mode role player, and you play it similarly to a 2-player game, but there is a die that's going to take some stuff out of the market. And what we're doing tonight is the solo challenge from BGG. So somebody's posting monthly a challenge mode, which is, so instead of this being randomized, which normally you would, like what being you're going to be, what class, what your backstory is, what your alignment is, all that normally would be randomized. They have set a prescribed set that everybody who wants to participate in the challenge plays, and then see how your score stacks up against other folks. Now, there's a lot of dice involved, so it's going to be kind of random, but there's a lot of ability to manipulate them. So you can still be in it, even if you have some bummer rolls. Yeah, so if it is something that's cool, the designer of the game actually is also giving away some various swag from like Thunderworks Games Role Player and some other ones that they're involved with. And so by participating in the challenge, you get an entry into that. So yeah, if you have access to a copy of Role Player, or I don't know if it's on one of the different digital versions of platforms out there, maybe you can participate as well. If you have a local game store that has a rental library, kind of like where my wife is right now, maybe they've got a copy so you can play it. But yes, it's a lot of fun. If you are like me, I love dice. I love rolling dice, but I also love games that allow me to manipulate them. And that's what this game is all about. So the enemy die did not take anything because it rolled too high. So I get free choice here. I don't want either of these armors because A, they don't match with my leather set that I'm trying to build. They don't line up with my class. So I would still get a point if I had one, but I don't get the bonus point. But I like this dedicated. I think this whole characteristic set that they have on here that they want, I'm close, so I can try to get this. I already have a weapon. I would have 2 traits once I purchase this. and I already have an armor card, so I just need to get a skill. So I am going to become dedicated. Upon purchasing it, I do have to move my alignment towards lawful. So that's away from my desired alignment of being chaotic. But I do have the ability to get that moved back. So that's not too big of a deal. So I am dedicated. I am courageous. I am wearing some sweet leather boots, and I am swinging that mace around. And that cost 4. And I had that money. So I'm down to $2. So I might have to take my enlightened attribute for a little spin at this next market day. All right, so those dice go back in. We will flip out a new market. Loyal also takes us towards being lawful, but foolish takes us back towards chaotic. So maybe I could be foolish. So all 3 of these are traits. So I'm looking to get a skill. I don't need another trait, so I may pass on this one. We'll see. All right, pull 3 dice out. We will roll them up. Oops, that was 4 dice. No purples. Purple is my class color, and you get bonus points for having some of those, but I unfortunately did not. I got yellow and blue. I don't need any yellow and blue in any particular places, so I don't have any choice being driven by that. So if I claim a yellow, that will be $2 just for claiming the yellow. If I claim the blue, if I claim a yellow, that'll be $2, and that will guarantee that the enemy player is going to chuck one of these. And my Blessed Mace gives me a gold if a player discards a card. So I could really rack up some gold right now if I do that. So maybe I will. So I'm going to grab that yellow. So I get $2, 2 gold for taking a gold die. I'm going to place it here in but I'm not buying, so I don't want to place it in charisma. Oh no. Well, okay. Yeah. I'm going to place it here in intelligence. This die wants to be green at the end of the game. So what I can do is on another turn, if I place something here in dexterity, which allows me to switch 2 die, I can switch these 2 because this one here doesn't need to be anything in particular. So green there can do more good over here. But by placing one in this 3rd slot, I get to take a gold for that. There's that gold border to remind you that every time you place a 3rd die on a row, you get a gold for that. And then in intelligence, I get to re-roll a die. So I'm going to re-roll this 2. And that 2 became a 5. I'm happy with that. Maybe wisdom's not dead yet. Now here I've got 11, 14. I did it. So my intelligence needed to be 14, people. We did it. We got to our intelligence stat. Book of Nerds, what's up, John? Good to see you, friend. Glad you could pop in. Thanks for saying hi. Playing a little role player here. And James, yes. Gold is good. So, I got 2 for that gold. I got 1 for that gold. I have hit my intelligence stat. So, I'm feeling good there. Now, the enemy is going to come here and going to claim something out of this market. They rolled a 4. So, the way that it works on the 3rd initiative card, a 1 or a 2 takes this card, a 3 or a 4 takes this card, a 5 or a 6 takes this card. So this is out, but whenever a player discards a card from the market, you gain a gold. So, thank you. Although the question is the enemy player actually discarding the card or are they taking the card? This might only be helpful for me if I discard a card. I'm gonna say that that's true. So if we're playing this, that enemy player is probably taking the card, not discarding it. So I'm not going to take that gold. I am going to just take gold whenever I discard a card. And then it is my turn Do I want to be honest? Do I want to be loyal? I don't need any more traits. Gain 4 stars if you have completed all your attribute goals. Oh. No, we're going to load up on gold, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to discard a card myself. So that gets me 1. Oh, that gets me 2 for discarding a card, because that's what happens when you discard. It gets me an extra for my blessed mace, because somehow my mace scores me more gold. We won't talk about it. And then my enlightenment, when I discard a card from the market, I can take any attribute action. So I am going to take the... I like this strength action. I want to make sure I'm hitting all of those. But I don't want to forget what I wanted to do with that dexterity. So I'm going to do the dexterity action, and I'm going to flip these 2 to get that green in the right place. There we go. Feel good about that. These 2 dice will go back here. This is out. New market. Hey, we got some leather graves. All right. Maybe we did good to wait for that, because that's my purple class I want to add to my leather. Boots and graves. Greaves? Graves? Greaves? It has an E in it. I didn't think it had an E in it, but it does. All attributes is hard. Yeah. So far, I'm like, I thought intelligence was out, so I was not even thinking that that would be possible, but... So you're saying there's a chance. All right, here we go. Oi, 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 oi. So we got some low reds and a low gold. I need a red here in strength. So I may want to take this one because, well, no, I could put a 5 here. If I put the 2, later on I could try to get it flipped to a 5, and that would give me 16, which is what I need to get that one done. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2, I'm going to put it here. That gets me a gold for putting in the last spot of a row. Then I get to flip a die, so I'm going to flip this 1 to a 6. So I'm continuing to work on my dexterity. So that is that attribute. Now, because I took the second initiative, I get a gold for doing that. And we're going to see what the enemy's going to do. All right, the enemy rolled a 2. No! No! Oh! Second initiative order. The enemy rolls a 1, 2, or 3. You take that card. 1, 2, or 3. They take my graves. Dang it. Oh, that hurts. All right. Well, I could be clumsy. Gain 2 if either my dexterity or charisma is 8 or less. Well, that's not happening. I could spend 3 to start another set of armor. Can always have more armor. Because having a bunch of gold isn't like super duper valuable. So yeah, I'll start another set of armor. I'm going to start my chain. Spend $3. Although, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to discard that. So I'm going to take my 3 back. For discarding, I get 2 more gold. I'm saving up here. I want something really good. And then, because I discarded, I get another gold. Oh, y'all can't see how much gold I have. I have a lot. And then I get to do my enlightenment, which allows me to do an ability which allows me to take my strength and flip that over to a 5. So now I'm in good shape. I am super strong. All right, new market. Oh, we're getting into the 2-dot cards here. All right, so we got a skill. Oh, I need a skill take any attribute action. So I could move this to the left and take an attribute action. Compassionate moves my alignment up. Gain 2 stars if your character sheet has dice of all 7 possible colors, which I think I already do. So that's not bad. But I do need a skill for my dedication set. So we'll see. We got some options here. Mystic robes don't align with my colors. All right, so we got white, red, green. All right, so I've got green in the right place. I've got red in the right place. I've got purple in the right place. I need a white here. So a white 6 in Constitution doesn't seem like a bad thing. And I still need a black here. So let's go ahead. We're going to take this white 6 and we're going to put it in Constitution. The ability for Constitution is to raise 1 die up a value or down a value, your choice. So intelligence, I think I've already got set, right? That's 14. I'm good there. Charisma, I need... Okay, so I'm going to raise wisdom because wisdom currently needs a 6 here. So I'm going to raise this to a 6. That puts me at 11, and I need a 15 or a 16. So I can get a 4 or a 5, right? Am I doing math right? Okay. Because I took the 3rd spot, the enemy is going to definitely claim a card. They're taking Concentrate. They're taking the attribute one. That would have been cool. And then I could do Compassionate, which is basically a guaranteed 2 points. That's not bad. Let's do that. Okay. So I'm going to pay $4 to be Compassionate. So it's another trait. $2 if my character sheet has dice of all 7 possible colors. So I think I've got that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? What are the 5 colors? 7 colors? Yeah, so red, purple, white, green, black, blue, yellow. Yep. So I've already got it achieved. So I got 2 points from that. So that's pretty cool. Mystic Robes is out. All right, only 4 more spots left. Then we're going to see how we do. I need a skill. Ooh, what's this skill? Knowledge. Increase or decrease the face value of a die in your character sheet by 1 or 2. Ooh, that's cool. And then we got Focused as a trait. Gain 2 points for every attribute row that has 3 dice of the same face value. That's tricky. I have none of those yet. I got a couple potentials, but... And then a Tower Shield, count as an additional armor card for 1 incomplete set. So it's another weapon. So it would take my second hand, but it would count towards my leather set if I wanted it to. All right. So we got red, white, and blue. Good old red, white, and blue. Okay, so I can put any colors here, and I need a 6 here in Dexterity. I could put any color here in Constitution. Constitution, I also need a 5 or a 6 to achieve that. And then Wisdom needs to be black, and Charisma can be anything. So both of these seem pretty good. So I don't care if I lose out on one or the other. So I'm going to take the 6. I am going to lock in my Charisma because I know I'm going to purchase. Get my 1 coin discount for this round. Enemy's going to roll. They roll 4. So when you take 3rd initiative, they definitely take a card. With a 4, it's the middle one, so they take that shield. So that helps make the choice. I'm going to get my skill. Oh, that's great, because I wanted a skill to complete my dedicated set. This costs $3. Oh, but with my discount from being very charismatic, I only have to pay 2. Right. So now I have knowledge. So skills go over here. So at any point, including right now, as long as I can move my alignment to the left, I can increase a die value by 1 or decrease by 1 or 2. So I don't want to do that yet. I want to make sure that it's a time of necessity, especially if I'm trying to lock in like this black right here. If I don't get a value that will get me wisdom, but there's a black die out there, I may want to grab that and use my knowledge to boost it later. All right, so these are going to go in. Focus goes away. New market. 3 more turns, y'all. All right, so we have obsessed. Gain an additional point for every 2 dice on your class color. I only have 2, so that's only 1 point, and it drives my alignment down, so don't like that. Honorable is 3 points, just straight up 3 points. That's pretty cool. It moves your alignment up, but I'm already maxed there. Does that mean I can't take it? That's a question. I would imagine not. It's probably fine. Yeah, it just says if possible. So I would not have to be able to move it that way in order to take honorable. I would just be able to get 3 points. But it's 7 coins, so that's pretty expensive. That would be all of my current coins. And then, hey, we got 2 black dice. We were just talking about needing a black die. 6, 3, and 1. Okay, so lastly, we have another skill, searching. Search the dice bag and exchange 1 die on your character sheet with a new die and use the same face value. All right, but both search and knowledge, they move my alignment the wrong way. So I am going to take this black die though. And I am going to get $1 for that. I am going to put it in wisdom because that's where I need the black die to go. That is my 3rd die in a row, so that gives me another gold coin. And then I can adjust my wisdom by placing this die here. So I'm going to move my wisdom in the direction that I need it to be. That makes my wisdom 11, 14, 1 shy. So I could use knowledge. We'll see. I don't have to do it right now. I still have constitution available in order to up a die by 1. So that could take care of that. All right. So I took the 2nd initiative card. The enemy is going to roll. They rolled a 4. In 2nd initiative, it's a 1, 2, or 3 takes a card. 4, 5, or 6 takes nothing. So they take nothing. I am going to grab this honorable. I'm going to grab $3 or 3 points for $7. Takes most of my money. But remember, me discarding cards means a lot of money for me. So not a bad deal. That would move my alignment up if it could, but it can't. I'm kind of liking my character. I'm honorable, compassionate, dedicated, and courageous. Kind of feeling like whatever that persecution that I faced in my backstory, it really made me want to do good. So I'm cool with this. All right, these will go away. 2 more rounds. More armor, leather armor, a skill, the ability to pick locks, and steadfastness, another great trait. But that would be cool if I could get a hold of that. Let's see what color dice we're getting. All right, we got red, black, and blue. So these last 2 don't need to be a particular color. So I can claim any die. That's cool. So my constitution needs to be a 17 or an 18 to hit it. That's tough. But my enlightenment, if I discard a card, oh, but I want to buy armor. Oh, but I only have $2. Crap. So I have to take this black die. All right. So I'm gonna put my black die in dexterity. I get a coin for taking that die. I get a coin for placing it as the third in that row. I'm going to place it in Constitution. I'm not going to grab. That's just 2 points. I feel like I can get more. So I'm placing it in Constitution. That allows me to bump a die up. I'm going to bump up Wisdom to a 4. So that gets me 11, 15. So I've hit Wisdom. So I've got Charisma. I've got Wisdom. I've got Intelligence. I do not have Constitution. That was going to be a tricky one. My Dexterity is also going to be tricky. I have to have a 6 here. But my Strength, I've got. Okay, so I took the second. The enemy is going to not take a card because they rolled a 4. I am going to discard a card for $2 for discarding. I get another $1 from my mace for discarding a card. And then I get to use my enlightenment. So I may do an action. So if I do my Constitution, I can flip this. Oh, sorry, not Constitution. I'm going to use my Strength action to flip Constitution, and now I have Constitution. I just need a 6 here. If I can get a 6 here, then we've done it. Oh, man. So close. So close. One more turn. I've got a lot of money, so hopefully there's something good here in the market. Proud. That's not what I want. Armor. Or being famous. During final scoring, double the effect of your alignment card. Oh! If I can stay put right there, that makes that 6 points instead. Ooh, I think a mace carrying monk would be pretty famous. So that fits. Thanks, Intelligame. I got this. We can make it. We can make this happen. We just need a 6. All right, so these go in the bag. It could be any color. I don't care. I just need it to be a 6. Ooh, no 6s. All right, so we've got 2 4s and a 1. Okay. Possibilities. We could grab the 1, put it here, then not take famous, but instead ditch a card, discard a card, which would allow us to use an ability, which would allow us to flip, yada, yada, yada. Or well, that would be losing 3 points in order to gain 2 points. So that doesn't make sense. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to get I think we're just going to lose out on, well, we'll see. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the 4. That gets me a gold for taking second position in initiative. I'm going to place it here. That gives me a gold for being in the 3rd spot on the row. All right, because I was second. Oh, and then I have dexterity. So I can switch this. Where's my Constitution at? My Constitution needs to be a 17. If I was to put a 4 here, I would have 11. There we go. I've got Courageous. I think we might have done it. Okay, so I'm going to use the Dexterity power, and I'm going to flip these two, switch these two, to put the 6 here and put the 4 there. I think we've got this. I think we got them all. All right, we're going to roll the die and see what they get. They did a 6. They take nothing. So I have $9 to be able to take one of these things. This is bad. It gives me 2 points, but I lose 3. So that's horrible, not taking it. This gives me 1 point because it would be the only piece of armor of this particular set, so that's not great either. Being famous costs $6. So I lose 1 point because every 8 coins is 1 point. But I get to double my alignment. My alignment is on the 3 points, so that 3 will become 6. That is pretty dope. Okay. We are all set. So I am a Dragonkin monk. I have a persecuted past, which has turned me into a renegade. But through that, I have knowledge, honor, compassion, dedication, and courage. I got some sweet leather boots and a mace. And all of this, as you can rightly imagine, has made me super famous. All right, so on the back of your player aid, there is a score tracker. So we have 2 cubes of our color. One of them goes on your alignment. The other one will be used to keep your score. All right, so on the bottom right-hand corner of our bean board, it lists the ways in which we score points. So number 1 is our attribute goals. So this is our attributes right here. And so attribute goals. From our class. There we go. So I wanted strength to be 18. I have 10, 16, but I have a +2 modifier. So I hit 18, so that gives me 3 points. I wanted dexterity to be 16 or 17. I have 18, which theoretically should cause me to not score those points because it's got to be exact. But I have a -2 modifier, so that makes my 18 16. So I did get this. On Constitution, I needed 17 or 18. I have 9 + 6 is 15, but I have courage. When scoring attribute goals, add +2 or -2 value to one single one. I'm going to add it to Constitution. That was the 2 short that I was, so I did get my 17. So I get 2 points for my Constitution. My intelligence needed to be 14. I've got 11, 12, 13, 14. So I get 1 point for being intelligent. My wisdom needed to be 15 or 16. I've got 9 + 6 for 15. That gives me 2 more points. And I'm getting all these points, folks, from the stars that are listed on each row of my class card. And then for my charisma, it needed to be 14 or 15. I've got 9 + 6 is 15, so I get 2 points there. And we did it. We got the full pull. All right, class color dice. You get 1 point per. Let me double check that in ye old rule book. Score. Each die that matches is worth 1 point. Okay, so I was the purple class. I only managed to get 2 purple die. There wasn't a ton of them, and when there was, they weren't always in the right place or value that I wanted. So not a ton of points there, but that's okay. My alignment card. So over here on my alignment, I got up to the 3. So that's exactly what I wanted to do for 1, 2, 3. And we'll deal with that trait later. That doubles it. For my backstory card, you score points based on how many of these dice colors you got into the right spots. So I needed red here, got it. Purple here, got it. White here, got it. Green here, black here, blue here, got all 6. So 6 correct is worth 6 points. So that takes me to 23. Doing good so far. Armor cards. I got 1. Which in a set of 1, that's worth 1 point. But because it is helpful for the purple class, which is what I was, I get 1 more bonus point. So that gets me 2. And then lastly, my trait cards. Okay, so being famous doubles my alignment. So I get 3 more points for my fame. Honor is worth straight up 3 points. Compassion, 2 points if my character sheet has dice of all 7 colors, which we already established it does. Dedication, 2 points if you have at least 1 weapon card, yes. At least 1 skill card, yes. At least 2 trait cards, yes, times 5. and 1 armor card, which I do. So I get 2 points for that set. And then courage was just helpful at filling out one of those. There's no points for that. And that is everything. I scored 35 points. So if we flip back to our little chart here, on the list of how cool am I am a clan leader. That is clan with a C. So I am okay with that. Almost a true hero, but feel better. I'm not an NPC. So that went pretty good. That was not bad. I have 3 coins left over. That's not worth anything extra, but still, a couple bucks in the pocket. Hero someday. Yes, James. It's out there. I just got to sharpen my skills a little bit more. I need more armor, is what I mean. People are like, buddy, you're going to die. But that's my chaotic nature. I just run in with sweet boots. But that is role player, and that is how you play that solo. It is a really great puzzle for how to take the dice as they come, how to use your manipulations, and when's the right time to do so. If there's a card in that market that you really, really want, can you wait and try to take something better in initiative order and risk losing it? Or do you need to take something lower in initiative order so that you guarantee getting the thing from the market that you want? Yeah, so that was fun. I enjoyed that. And I appreciate all of you joining me for the inaugural Something's Puzzling Gus. Hopefully this is something that'll happen on a, I don't know how regular basis, but anytime Jess has to work or is off helping folks at another convention, which will happen again at the end of the month. So we will definitely be seeing each other. I have no clue how to do a raid, so y'all are going to be on your own to figure out who your next watch is. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I very much appreciate each and every one of you coming and hanging out with me. I hope you all have a fantastic end to the week. If you're like me, it's just one more work day and then that weekend is coming. But if you're like Jess, then you're going to be working all through the weekend. So I'll probably be playing more games. Who knows? Maybe I'll even kick off another stream this weekend because Jess is going to be working. But yeah, hey, until him, I will definitely tell Jess that you said hi. And do you guys know each other? Like, is there... I'm sorry, I don't know you, but if Jess does, that's really awesome. And Panda and James and John and Timey and... Oh, sweet! Right then. Well, I will go find that stream channel and join up as well. Thanks for coming and dropping over here for tonight. And hopefully this showed you a bit of how Role Player works. We have another expansion. So besides Role Player, the base game, there are 2 major expansions for it. There's Monsters and Minions, which when you create your character gives you a baddie to go fight. So you do this part of the process and then you go out and you do a fight. And then there's another expansion called Fiends and Familiars. I always forget if it's Friends and Familiars. I think it's Fiends and Familiars because I think there's more baddies to fight the Fiends. And you get... So we have the Fiends and Familiar expansion. We have not played it yet, so I'm going to have to do that one. But you get to develop not only your character, but your familiar to go with you, and then you go out and fight a fiend. And the same solo challenge that they put out each month, they have 3 different ones that you can do. You can do the one if you just have the base game, you can do the one if you've got Monsters and Minions, and you can do the one if you've got Fiends and Familiars. So I'm gonna have to learn how to play Fiends and Familiars and then go try that solo challenge out there as well. But cool, y'all. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Y'all are fantastic. You've been a lot of fun to hang out with and keep me company here. And hope y'all had fun. I forgot Jess's ending spiel, but it's something about like be super nice to yourself and to others, play more games, and just be all around good people making the world a good place. So, yeah, talk to you all later. Bye.